Hello everybody, this is JD again. Today I'm going to talk about a few things and nothing in particular. Nothing in particular. First, I'm getting a little tired of you all just sitting around and crying and complaining. Why are you all complaining and crying? Yet I'm telling you to join me, march with me, and together we can do something about all these problems. Yet you all just sit there and do nothing. Just because you can post something on Facebook, just because you can write a book, just because you got a radio station, you do absolutely nothing. But you say you do. But do you? That's the real question. Look around. Look at the problems with our federal government. Look at the problems that are happening. Our federal government is so intense on taking care of the special interest groups, it fails to serve the people. It doesn't serve you, the American people. It don't serve the Constitution. It doesn't serve your ideal. It serves special interest groups. It serves the elite. It serves the political parties. But nowhere does our federal government look to serve you, the people. Sorry. Now, couple people keep asking me this. Why don't I run for Congress or Senate first? Well, I can't break my word to people. I promise to do a job. I cannot. If I promise you to do a job, I will do that job above all else and be dedicated to that job. So if I promise you to be a congressman for a certain length of time, I will be that congressman for a certain length of time. If I promise you to be a senator for that certain length of time, I will be a senator representing you, the people from the area that has elected me. I'm not going to be traveling around the country while Congress is in Congress is in session. I'm not going to travel around the country and do campaign speeches for president. I'm not going to walk away from my word. I'm not going to turn my back onto the people I promised to do a job for. Sorry, I can't do that. When I make a promise, that is stronger than just giving my word. My word says, okay, I'll see to it. I'll try to do it. Promise is I will. And when I make a promise to do something, it must be kept to the best of my ability. That doesn't mean get elected as a senator, for example, and a year or two in office, then decide to run for president and start campaigning and totally ignoring the people from the area that had elected me. Because what does that say about me? It says that I will not do the job I promise you. And if president, someone comes along with bigger bucks, nicer bucks, well, they got me now. No, that will not happen. So, people, until I feel I can no longer run for president, I will not and cannot accept a job as congressman or senator because I cannot turn my back onto the people that I promised to do a job for. If I promise to represent you, then I shall represent you. And as far as the nation goes, yes, I do promise to represent each and every single one of you Americans, from the day you're born to the day you die. My first promise to bring you a word, to bring your voice to Washington, D.C. I'm making only 3 promises. What did I say about a promise? Think about that. Now that we took care of that question and why I don't run for Congress and Senate, and that because it would be breaking my promise to the people who have elected me into that position. Next is qualifications. Let's see now. I got an associate's degree from PCC, business management, economics, but it's not a doctorate. According to the Navy, I have a 177 IQ somewhere in my personal records. I got that written in there. And according to when I was a foster child and I was younger and I was also evaluated, I had what they said was in the high 170s IQ. So they're both about the same. They're only about, I don't know, 18 years, 20 years, I don't know. When I was evaluated in the Navy and well, I do know when I was evaluated by the state is when I first became a foster child. So, I do have an high IQ. I have an IQ high enough to know that the president alone does not do the job of the president. He has a cabinet of people selected. Now, there's where my qualifications come in extremely well. See, money has no value to me. Guy could come and offer me $1 million, offer me $1 billion. It doesn't matter. Money has no value. So it's kind of hard to buy someone when you can't buy them. Now with money, gold, it's a rock. As you can see, if you look at my hands and my wrist, I got a very cheap watch on. Avon watch. I don't have none of these fancy things, no expensive jewelry. I don't believe in it. I guess gold has no value to me either. And what has value? Your word. Well, my word does. My word is the most important and most valuable thing I have. Oh, there's another qualification. Oh, wait a minute. Presidents don't keep their word, do they? I watched a terrible thing last night. It's about the last days of Vietnam. Promise made, a commitment, and how it was all broken. And how it sent a bunch of people to total despair. So, what then is it that qualifies me to be president? I have the extreme knowledge to be able to pick the people that are needed for the job as of my cabinet. And together, those qualified people, and including myself, though I'm the leader of the group, will ensure that you, the people of the United States of America, is always in mind with whatever we do. Your desires, your needs, your nation must always come first and foremost. I mean, listen to my foreign affairs. Did you ever think about what I actually say? It's about you. We, the United States, must learn to recognize each and every nation, and that each nation has a right to exist as the people within that nation wish to live. Whether or not our Congress or federal government agrees with the type of government that they choose to live under, it is only those people within that nation that has the right to choose how they shall be governed and live. That is what this is all about. That's my foreign affairs. Now, what's my belief about the Constitution? The Constitution is the supreme law of the land as it is written. Not the way we like it to be written, but as it is written. For example, the supreme law of the land, the Constitution, says that you are an American citizen entitled to all the promises made by the Constitution, all the rights guaranteed under the Bill of Rights, etc., and amendments, all from the day you're born to the day you die, according to the 14th Amendment. But yet, there is a law on the books that says some citizens do not get that until they're 18 years old. They have to leave this country and not be able to enjoy the liberties, freedom, and privileges of this nation. A law that contradicts the Constitution. No, it cannot be tolerated, cannot be allowed to exist. Another example. And this one here deals with special interest groups. Religion. Constitution says the federal government cannot make any ruling on religion or the free exercise of it. Yet the Supreme Court constantly is trying to infringe on that. The free exercise of means just that, the free exercise of. Now, a special interest group, the atheist, says, well, that's forcing my children, or that's forcing me to, that's forcing. Sorry, the Constitution, as it is written, says that no religion shall be hindered its free exercise of. So, what does that leave? Well, it leaves it to the state and the people, in accordance with the Constitution, if the state, local community, or the people wish to have, for example, prayer in school, the federal government cannot say no at all. And the special interest groups cannot say, well, it forces me to. No, it forces you to have to do nothing. Now, people, you have to understand that may be a very small thing to some of you. It may be a very big thing to some of you. I don't see the Riflemen's Association, standing up against that, because you see, that is taking away the power of the Constitution. Guns will follow, not too far behind, if you allow these small steps to be taken. 2 major amendments are being totally ignored by our federal government. 3, actually. 2 of them is in the Bill of Rights. One's the 14th. And these amendments are being ignored by the federal government. How much longer before they say no one can have a gun? Now, I think the government does not have a right to issue a marriage license, because a marriage is a religious ceremony. A union certificate, yes. Or a certificate of union, yes. Take the word marriage out of that piece of paper the government gives you. And then, and only then, can the federal government have a ruling on whether or not gays can join together. Personally, I don't think it's right. But also, they have to have the protection needed that when 2 individuals join together, whether they're the same sex or not, they need to be protected. Their property needs to be protected. Their livelihood needs to be protected, and they need to have the same rights and privileges by law as those who are joined together in matrimony. And then if a church or state wishes to marry them, that is okay, because it's up to the church to decide or the state to decide, because it's a religious ceremony. It's not the responsibility of the federal government. And then for those of you who disagree with people of the same sex marrying, I could say, well, don't go visit them. Or if you're really upset and you're over their place, don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out. In other words, they have a right to live inside their household as they choose. And we, as American citizens, must realize our differences and accept them and rejoice in that we're different. Rejoice in that, like Jesus, we can say, come to us, and we shall teach, and we shall talk and discuss. And from that, all of you will choose how you shall live. We will not condemn, we will not demand, for that is not our way. Now, am I qualified to be president? Well, I'm highly educated, though I don't have paperwork to show it. Actually, any one of you can get a full college education free, absolutely free. Go online. There's enough programs there you can actually pick out, and you can have a full college education in almost anything you want. You can become an expert in almost anything you want online. The only difference is you won't have that piece of paper that says, hey, you graduated from a college. And heck, some of those people who got those pieces of paper, oh gosh, how dumb they seem to me. A good example, I hate to say this, is a certain individual that likes to stand up before the news and make statements and put his foot in his mouth. Some people call him the President of the United States. I have respect for that position. Unfortunately, the individual who's in it doesn't. Oh, you learn how to do his job right. Because being a leader, and this is the most important qualification, the president must be a leader. And when a decision is made, and the president makes that decision, taking the information from his cabinet, he makes that decision. It is his responsibility from that point on. I would never have apologized about the two individuals that were killed by the drone strike the way he did. I would say I'm terribly sorry for the incident, but understand this. They put themselves in a war zone. They permitted themselves to be captured by being there, doing what they wanted to do. Unfortunately, the group that they're with has no moral standards. And in the process of attacking and destroying the group, they were inadvertently killed. That is called the hazards of war. And what do I say war is? War is hell. Peacetime, it's murder. I'm sorry that the incident happened. It is not our fault. It is the fault of the two individuals who decided to put themselves in danger. Put yourself in front of somebody who's going to shoot a gun at you, expect to get shot. I always say, if you play with snakes, expect to get bitten. So, do I have the qualifications? I have hundreds of videos here you can listen to. Some of them I'm ranting and raving. Others I'm just talking like this. All about different things that matter or involve the federal government. They are for you to view, not for me. I do not take them down because I made a promise in 2008 that I would not take a single video down. They are there for you, so that if I should ever break my word, you will have them. So people, do I have the qualifications? Well, I'm kind of tired of you all sitting around doing absolutely nothing, thinking you're accomplishing something, when in truth, the political machines are running all over you, telling you that you're doing a good job. But actuality, they are doing an excellent job in controlling you. Now, bottom line, I've seen supports and I read them. These political candidates from the machines, whose words have no meaning, are raising all kinds of money. And I can't even get you all to get out there and help me fight this monster that we're up against. They join forces with the monster. They are part of that machine. They can say whatever they want to say. Bottom line is, look at what they're doing. Me, I'm here on YouTube telling you, no, I will not break my word. No, I will not do this. No, and you can see it. Yet they get up there and say, I won't break my word. I'll represent you. And they run for Congress or Senate. They get into place and they turn their back on you so they can run for president. Or they talk about the issues of the past, blaming everybody for everything, but yet they are no solutions. They're like you, sitting there talking about the past. When I campaign, I want to hear from you. I don't want me to stand in front of you and tell you, oh, our tax program is full of problems. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Which one of you don't know that? How are we going to fix that? That's what I want to hear. I want to hear solutions from you so that when I go to Washington, D.C., I have inside this brain a lot of information from you. Because we're going to do the job, but we're only going to do it together. We're going to unite this nation as one people so you don't have problems happening when people make mistakes, like the police officers in Baltimore. That is a mistake. And I would be honored, and I'd stand in front of them and tell them, all you people who are there rioting and demonstrating, any one of you who have never made a mistake in your life have the right to stand here. But if you made mistakes, you made poor judgment calls because of your upbringing, then you don't have a right to stand here because you did the same exact thing. And you say, whoa, wait a minute, what are you talking about? How many times have police officers tried to arrest people? They drop to the floor and they yell, oh, my back, I can't, and they give them a hard time. Think of how many times those police officers have seen that. How many times they had to put up with that. Now, there was a real back injury. How did they know that this one was real and the hundreds of others that weren't? They don't. So they treated him like they treated everybody else. Instead of calling a medical unit to handle him, they put him in the paddy wagon, aggravating the situation even worse. How his back got injured, I cannot tell you. None of the videos show that. But the videos do show to me that that person did have serious back problems because I experienced serious back problems. But they didn't know how serious it was, the police officers. They made a mistake, a poor judgment call. They're not perfect. I don't think any of those police officers have the name Jesus Christ. Therefore, I don't think any one of them really knew what was going on. And they made a call to the best of their ability. So we get to burn a whole city down because of it? People, our police force comes from our society. There are people in our society. Our police force does the best it can to weed out the stuff that shouldn't be there, and try to do an excellent job. But they can't do an excellent job because they're human, and they are from our society. So a couple police officers made a very bad mistake, and it cost the life of an individual. That is terrible. It is very terrible. And yes, we could say it's terrible, and we need to stop that. But you can't burn a city down because of a mistake, especially when you all are making mistakes constantly. Just like me. I'm not perfect. Don't put me in that group, because I've already seen what this world does to a perfect person. And I think crucifixion is a heck of a way to die. So, people, what qualifies me? What rules, what guidelines do you use to decide what qualifies a person to be president? Intelligence? I got that. Educated? Pretty much self-educated. A lot. I don't believe in paperwork. Certificate don't make you smart. I'm sure that our current president has a lot of certificates only to prove my statement correct. Heck, when I was in 10th grade, I told my doggone science teacher, chemistry, who later became my physics teacher a year later, that Albert Einstein's formula E equals mc squared was wrong. It didn't work. It wasn't right. It didn't convert all the matter to energy. And I showed them why, how, and I showed them that Albert Einstein overlooked a little fact that Sir Isaac Newton had found out to be true, and made his formula work by dropping that little fact. But by putting that fact in there, now the current formula we have is much more accurate. Also, his time and space continuance, forget that. That's totally out of whack. Because time follows certain rules, and those rules are never broken. And anyone who looks at time and watches time and studies time would know that those rules are not broken. So basically, everything that Albert Einstein is famous for, I have more or less debunked. But for the time that Albert Einstein existed, his statements were extremely knowledgeable in the progress of understanding nuclear fission. So, people, I'm here now, and I'm a person just like you. I struggled. I lived through a very, very rough life. I know what it's like to try to pay your bills and feed your kids, and you don't have enough money to do half of either. I know what it's like to have extra money and be able to walk into and buy stuff when you want. Not now, because the stupid storing costs me so much every month. Something I would never have ventured, but my wife wanted it. So I gave it to her. Big mistake. See, I make mistakes. So bottom line, people, it's up to you. Are we going to together fix this nation, or shall we continue on the same path? You crying, you complaining, you posted things and doing nothing. Or are you going to help me? That's your decision, not mine. I'm just one person, and I can't do it alone. No one person can. But I can promise you this. Your voice will be heard in Washington, D.C., one way or the other. The Congress will start serving the American people first, foremost, and understand that we are not the servants of the Congress. And leadership will be brought there. And our Constitution will be the supreme law of the land as it is written, whether we like it or not, from beginning to end. And that shall be. That's it. JD. A little bit of everything and a lot of nothing, I guess. So, you decide. What qualifications? And then look at my videos. See if they're there. Listen to them. If you want papers saying I went to this college, I went to that college, or you want other things like civic activities. No, my civic activities were private. They were done for me and the Boy Scouts, the Little League, the Civic Center, the food banks. I did them for me, not for politics, not to be a politician. And they are not going to be part of it. Just know I don't do things to buy things. I do things because I believe in them. If you really want to figure out something, look at this. How many people out there, you people, who have your garbage can for recycling and your garbage can for garbage, how much garbage in that garbage can is totally recyclable? Look in there. You will find out that almost everything you have thrown in both cans is totally recyclable, but you don't use it. You're like everybody else. You do a halfway job and think you're doing it right. Think about that. And when I campaign around, and if I ever raise any money, which you people have to say, not me, I'll go around the country and you can ask me questions. You can put it to me. Ask me why the sky's blue. I'll tell you. It's because the oxygen level in the sky. The colors of the sky is all dependent upon the elements in the atmosphere at that time in that area. That's it. So people, you got to decide, what do you want? You want to sit on your butt? You want to complain? You want to cry? You want to do nothing and say, oh, I am a patriot? Well, patriots like you would have lost the Revolutionary War, because those soldiers went out, they fought the elements, they fought the disease, they fought hunger, starvation. They went and did the job that was needed for this nation. They didn't sit at home on a computer typing in or writing a book. They were there. They are the ones that did the job. Think of the authors of the Federation Papers. Did they really do the job to win this free nation? No. The soldiers who got off their butt and did the job. They just sat at home and wrote books. And if it was left up to them, nothing, we'd still be British. So people, which one are you? The book writers? Or are you the people who are going to get the job done? Are you going to get out there and instead of just telling them, show them, be the example? And together we can fix this nation. We could take control of the deficit. We could take control of the taxation problem. We could take control of the wasteful spending of Congress. We could take control of our government interfering with other governments throughout the world. Yes, we can do the job. But notice it's always we. It's always we and us, not just me. There's a lot that needs to be done, and we can do it. But only together as a nation, as a people, one. There's a lot worse evil coming down the pipe. And do you want to stand up against all hell breaking loose by yourself? Or do you want us to be a nation of one, strong enough to stand up to anything the world shall try to throw towards us? Well, that's enough of me. You have a good day now. Thank you. I didn't even know how long this video is, but it is long. You have a nice day.